From throwing teammates under the bus to being called out for her poor attitude, this is the story of a villain turned winner. As a reminder, this is the very same person who rolled her eyes at Chef Ramsay and stuck her nose in places that it definitely didn't belong. Meet the most obnoxious winner of Hell's Kitchen. Who is it? Ariel Malone. Being awarded the head chef position at BLT Steak at Bally's Las Vegas and a cool salary of $250,000 doesn't seem to cut it for Ariel. In an Instagram post, she wrote, "Please, don't think this is easy. I get by straight up by charity because even working full-time, childcare costs the same as my day rate as a chef." Well, it seems like all the HK fame, connections, and the money hasn't made much of a difference, huh? At least she shares a great rapport with Gordon Ramsay still. But what's the real picture? Where is she now, and what is she up to? Let's find out. First things first, let's dig into why Ariel is considered one of the most obnoxious winners ever. You see, Ariel's behavior and decisions on the show have raised more than a few concerns.
I was definitely envious of the fact that she got to have that one-on-one with Chef Ramsay. She says, "I got to see both my parents." Could save that news, bitch.
In one instance, she sent out an undercooked dish that someone else was still working on. But then, she blamed the original cooks when Chef Ramsay questioned it.
Why she got to fix the chicken's not even done? We didn't ask you for help, now you all in our Kool-Aid over here. Ariel come and grabbed it and took it up there.
Wait, the dish wasn't even supposed to hit the pass in the first place. And did she forget that the two people who were responsible for it weren't even finished when she yoinked it off their station and brought it to the pass? Well, that's what happened with both Chad and Mies. Ariel tried to sabotage them in broad daylight. At another point, while Ashley was getting into her concerns about her future in the industry and her family's trust in her abilities, Ariel just didn't care.
Your daddies own 3 restaurants. They don't trust you to run one of them? They didn't even name one of them after you.
Seeing this, some viewers have criticized the portrayal of Ariel's challenges on the show, comparing it to the Dave edit where contestants persevere through difficulties. But while Dave and Kevin faced unfortunate accidents during the punishment, Ariel's challenge came from a different circumstance.
Because I don't need crutches, man. I broke my last minute, the 5th minute.
Yeah, she fell while being drunk. Now, let's review her time on the show, and you tell me if she's one of the most forgettable winners or not. First, during the Signature Dish Challenge, Ariel was the 8th person from the red team to have her dish judged by Chef Ramsay. And well, she went up against Chad.
It's a comfort dish that oozes quality. 3. Well done. Good job.
For the uninitiated few of you, shakshuka is a Palestinian dish consisting of eggs poached in a sauce of spiced tomatoes, green peppers, and chopped onions.
It's a Middle Eastern dish. Being half black and half Jewish, the shashushka definitely represents who I am.
Don't let her pronunciation fool you. It's shakshuka, not shushshuka. Honestly, despite her butchery of its name, it's super easy to make. Delicious, but easy. That's probably why she ended up with 3 points compared to Chad's 4. Anyway, during the punishment, Ariel was frustrated and stuck in a sour mood, but her dish was pretty well received. She believed that her teammates weren't contributing enough and complained that Mies and Vanessa did a poor job.
I nailed my dish and I did what I was supposed to do, and these other girls that are on the team aren't pulling their weight at all.
And then, during the second dinner service, Ariel was at the garnish station.
3 snapper, 3 chicken.
That's gonna be 5 to the window, chef.
What's wrong with the snapper? Chef Snapper's behind you, coming on the right.
So when Mies temporarily left the kitchen to retrieve some more sizzle plates, Ariel took over her responsibilities. Although the snapper she prepared was undercooked, she failed to acknowledge her mistake.
Raw.
That bitch took my dish up when it wasn't done.
Now, get this, that was sneaky, not leadership material. Plus, she lost her team's trust as well. In the end, the red team lost the service and had to put up 2 contestants for elimination. During the deliberations, Ariel was brought up as a potential candidate by Mies and Danny for mishandling Mies' snapper without her consent.
I didn't really up at the end of the day, that should have never been touched.
I mean, Kristen was right, she shouldn't have touched it. However, Ariel refused to accept responsibility for the mistake and instead blamed Mies for not communicating what was needed at the time.
She didn't speak up, she didn't say anything. Did I help the team? Did I do what I had to do? Yeah.
Alright, so I'm Team Mies here, but what about you? Anyway, fast forward to the eliminations, and Ariel was once again named the red team's second nominee, with Mies as the first and Shirkena as the third. In her plea, she emphasized her strength as a cook and justified her actions by saying,
At the end of the day, it wasn't my station. I shouldn't have touched her fish. I should have let her bring the raw fish up and let her take the heat for bringing the raw fish up.
I mean, did it ever occur to her that she would have taken it up to the pass prematurely?
Ariel come and grabbed it and took it up there.
Oh my god, seriously?
Poor Mies ended up taking the heat for Ariel's mistake.
You don't touch somebody else's dish.
And what did Ariel do? She just stood there like she had no part in the mess she just made. Anyway, thanks to this little Cold War brewing between the teammates, the red team completely bombed their next service.
Unbelievable. Tonight, you got completely dominated in service. Get upstairs and think of 2 individuals who your team would be stronger with that.
Danny considered Mies and Manda for elimination after finding them responsible for the Thrash Wellingtons.
Cooked perfectly, and it's in the trash. Cooked perfectly, it's in the trash.
I will tear into that meat caveman style, like, I'm starving.
Mies, in turn, considered Jackie and Vanessa for elimination, as the raw Arctic char was the one that pissed Chef Ramsay off the most.
Danny, just touch that. Come on, quick! Just touch that.
Yeah, it's cold.
Touch it, touch.
Now, Jackie argued that she was doing good until the slowdown on the garnish station. Manda claimed that while her timings were off, there was an even bigger issue.
What is it?
No.
2 things, potato and beans.
Potato beans.
Potato and beans, let's go.
See, Mies should have never thrown her Wellingtons into the trash.
What the? Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
Anyway, after all that back and forth, they finally did reach a consensus, and in the end, the women agreed on Mies and Manda as their nominees.
Finally up for elimination? Mies and Amanda.
But during the eliminations, Ariel deviated from the team's decision and nominated someone else.
Vanessa.
Yeah, she was totally playing the game her way. The red team was frustrated with Ariel for disregarding their choice of nominees after Ariel picked Vanessa over Manda. And look what happened, Vanessa was eliminated that night. When Danny outright asked whether they were actually on the same team or not, Ariel remained as defensive as ever.
I'm sorry, are we cooking in the same kitchen? 'Cause at this point, I don't know what the is going on with everyone.
I mean, come on. Even her biggest stands have got to admit that she wasn't much of a team player, huh?
I'm beside myself. You know, fan dances.
All she wanted to do was screw the strong contenders and support the weakest links, leaving her plain old middling self in a prime position to snag the win. Smart move, huh? Anyway, the next day was quite eventful when Ariel tumbled to the floor on her way to the bathroom. No, it wasn't oil or an open oven door. This is her infamous drunken stupor stumble. That was a mouthful. But well, she slipped, injured her ankle, and the medic was called in. Turns out, she had pulled a tendon and was asked to refrain from putting weight on her foot for at least 6 weeks. Ariel was incredibly upset. She didn't want to leave the competition, not when she had knocked out her biggest competitors one by one.
I'm just gonna rest it and go to sleep, so I'm ready to get into the kitchen tomorrow.
The next day, she held her ground and decided to pull through. Come what may, she wasn't willing to back down, not even over an injury, and that's really admirable. And then, during the Chef Andy Wedding Planning Challenge, Ariel teamed up with Kristen for the seafood appetizer round. They were the first pair from the red team to present their dishes and competed against Chad and Joe from the blue team. Ariel prepared a grilled squid stuffed with lobster claw, but it received criticism for its resemblance to, check it for yourselves.
It's really opaque looking.
Slightly phallic in terms of, looks like the bison's penis.
I mean, this dish could easily find a comfortable spot among the top 10 worst dishes of the show.
You didn't cook the squid enough. It's still raw, it's very chewy.
It's just kind of off-putting visually.
So much for confidence, huh? Anyway, during the cowboy steak dinner service, Ariel was responsible for the fish station. Despite her efforts, when she served scallops to Stacey Dash's table, they were returned for being both salty and undercooked.
Stacey Dash, too salty. Both of them undercooked.
Oh, man.
Name a more iconic duo, right? Her third attempt resulted in them sticking to the pan, prompting Chef Ramsay to express frustration and call for assistance.
They're all stuck to the pan.
Scallops! Now!
Yes, Chef, I'm refiring all of the scallops.
Now it's beyond a joke! That is it!
Jackie then stepped in to help, and the fourth attempt was successful and served to Dash's table. Since Jackie was so eager to help, she once again asked Jackie to help her with the tuna.
Ariel thinks that I have secret powers, I have fire hands, and now I'm just gonna be like...
But unfortunately for Jackie, they ended up being burnt. And Ariel was quick to school her.
Burnt tuna.
Jackie, what the is that, bro?
Okay, do you see the double standards here? When she fucked up Misa's dish, it was Misa's fault. And this time, it was entirely Jackie's? I'm starting to sense a pattern here. Anyway, the red team lost the service, and were tasked with nominating 2 more from their team for elimination. During the deliberations, Ariel faced blame for the team's struggles and was considered for elimination by Kristen and Ashley, but she remained defensive as always.
This is the first dinner service I've struggled at all, and the burnt tuna was not me. Like, a big part is when you come to help people, you have to actually be able to help them.
What were you expecting? That she'd take the blame? Of course not. She was perfect after all, and you would get to see more of this attitude coming to the front in later episodes. like in episode 10 during the brunch service when Ariel managed the appetizer station.
Chatting.
What?
I need it.
What?
I just forgot the garlic. I need you to run this too.
Half on each one?
Yeah, go ahead.
You see, after she had Chad serve her Nicosia salads to the pass, she realized she had mistakenly forgot to include the quail eggs. And who took the fall? Ariel? Nope, Chad.
Oh, come on, Chad. Come on with a bit of speed, will you? A little bit oomph, walking around with a quail egg.
And while he was being reprimanded, she didn't say a word, like, "Chef, that was my fault, my dish." Once again, she just stood there and watched the fun.
Thanks a lot.
Quail's eggs going in the niçoise salad.
Yes, chef.
Breaking news. Get a grip.
Hey, got it.
This was so damn unfair. See, this is why I get when the fanbase complains that she was definitely a saboteur. And more specifically, not head chef material. Eventually, both teams were named joint losers. During the deliberations, Ariel and Chad disagreed on their performance. But Chad wasn't about to keep quiet. Oh no. He reminded her that he had taken the blame for her mistake with the salad.
I thought if you had made a mistake, you would have spoken up and said, that's my fault. Don't stand there and act all innocent. Have the nerve to take some of the heat, too.
Yeah, at least someone had the nerve to call her out. In the end, Ariel voted for Chad, while Chad obviously voted for her. Since Ariel won the title, I think you know who got eliminated. But did she at least give him a good send-off? No, of course not.
Chad, the fact that you called me out and then you got eliminated, that just made it so much sweeter for me. Everybody needs to know that if you mess with me, it's time to go.
Was she blind or was she blind? Tell me. Now, let's look at her performance on the pass in episode 15, and I have a good reason to bring it up here. So Ariel was the first up at the pass. She was equal parts confident and eager to get it done.
I definitely think that I have a really strong chance of being the winner at Hell's Kitchen. You never know what's gonna happen.
However, she sent up a risotto with carrot puree instead of squash. And she really only realized the mistake when Chef Ramsay brought it to her attention.
Carrot puree. It's not butternut squash.
The famous chef was not impressed with her attitude. She failed this test on attention to detail right off the bat. And what was her reaction?
I was just frustrated.
Oh yeah? Tell me who isn't. Sometime later, there came a point where she didn't respond to Ashley asking for the risotto. And the sole reason was because she thought she was being unproductive. However, her own risotto was being rejected for being grossly underseasoned. Come on, Ariel, you weren't flawless, so don't act like you were.
I need some more salt.
Let's go, well spotted.
Cut to the final menu challenge, Ariel showcased her confidence. She considered herself stronger than Kristen due to her unique approach.
She's just more classically minded, and I'm just the complete opposite.
And well, I guess she saved her best performance for last. It was like she was coasting on mediocrity this whole time until it was time for her to strike. Her cold lobster salad with purple romanesco and blood orange vinaigrette impressed the judges, nabbing her 8 points.
Love that smile. That means you're happy.
In the hot appetizer round, her savory mushroom cheesecake stood out for its excellent seasoning, although the portion size was slightly larger than preferred by Chris Machia. For this, once again, Ariel soared through with a cool 9 points.
It's seasoned really, really well. Portion size is a little bit bigger than I would have thought, but very well executed.
Thank you so much, Chef.
In the fish entree round, Ariel's mustard dill salmon with asparagus impressed the judges, earning her 9 points again.
Sauce is great.
Really indeed. Wow.
Thank you, Chef.
One after the other, Ariel came out on top, but guess what? So did Kristen.
Kristen's out of 10 first.
I would have to give that a 9.
9. Kristen, well done.
Despite her really strong performance, Ariel narrowly lost the challenge to Kristen by a close margin of 41.5 to 42 points.
Give it up for Kristen, please, ladies and gentlemen.
No wonder viewers think she was the most undeserving winner. And these views aren't based on her final service, but her overall attitude throughout the entire season. Plus, honestly, Kristen was way more consistent comparatively. Anyway, since she lost the challenge, Ariel had the last choice for her team. She went with Jackie, Manda, and Danny, leaving Jared as her final pick. However, when explaining her menu, her team seemed really confused. Now is the time to compare their final services. As Ariel began calling out her first ticket, she had thrown in her complete trust with the team that she had selected for the evening. However, a little mishap occurred when Manda was found prepping 4 lobster salads instead of the intended 2 lobster salads, and then 2 octopus salads.
Ariel, I'm doing all 4 of your lobster salads at once, okay?
2 lobster salads, 2 octopus salads.
Okay.
20 minutes into the service, Kristen received her parents' ticket, and Frank, confident in his meat cooking skills, took on the duck dish. However, Chef Ramsay pointed out that Frank's duck was still cold in the middle. So Kristen had a huge reality check to pay closer attention if she wanted to win.
Right now, in your kitchen, you've got nothing going out. This is your parents, right? And it's still cold in the middle, okay?
Despite the setback, the refire was successful thanks to Ashley, and both teams managed to push out their appetizers. Back in the blue kitchen, Ariel took charge and called out the first order of entrees. While Danny aimed to ensure a smooth service, she also dreaded the possibility of facing elimination yet again. Sadly, Danny's pork chops were served stone cold. Ariel made a quick decision to switch up on an order, opting for 2 hanger steaks, a move that Chef Ramsay had nothing but praise for.
I have these 2 hanger steaks, so I just asked Jason if table 10's ready.
Yeah, smart.
Meanwhile, in the red kitchen, the team focused on preparing entrees. However, Joe ran into some issues with his coleslaw, which both lacked seasoning and, well, let's just say there was a little too much garlic.
Stinking of garlic.
No seasoning.
We're not seasoning.
Despite the setback, Joe's second attempt met Chef Ramsay's standards, and entrees began leaving the red kitchen. In the blue kitchen, Danny successfully delivered on a corrected dish, but on the subsequent ticket, Jackie took it upon herself to slice the sea bass. Unevenly, mind you. Ariel intervened immediately. Despite the hiccup, Jackie's sea bass ultimately met the standards and was served to Ariel's family. In the red kitchen, Kristen initially called out the next order, but her team failed to respond. The famous chef prompted Kristen to assert herself and take control of the situation.
Whether you like it or not, you better get tough, and you better get tough quick. You are dictating to them the pace of your kitchen.
Determined to showcase her leadership skills earned throughout the competition, Kristen confidently repeated the order. 2 hours into the service, a customer at Ariel's station discovered that their pork chop was undercooked, prompting Marino to send it back to her.
I mean, last time I heard pork was supposed to be really
you don't want to have a pork tartare.
While Danny sent up the refire to the pass, both Chef Ramsay and Ariel found it to be overcooked. The famous chef accused Danny of not caring, and Jackie expressed concern that Chef Ramsay might lose his temper. Danny argued that she never wanted to return after Chef Ramsay asked her for her best effort, and then she left the blue kitchen. And Ariel was beyond annoyed.
Where is she?
She left.
What do you mean she left?
Ariel assigned Jackie to the meat station, and thankfully, the pork chop started leaving the blue kitchen once again. Despite all the drama, there could only be one winner. And the famous chef's final decision would go down in history as one of the strangest he's made ever on any of his shows. So, Ariel almost immediately took up the position as the head chef at BLT Steak at Bally's Las Vegas until January of 2017. After which, she pursued other career opportunities. What's more, she appeared as a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire during the 15th season, winning $10,000 for the Dreamville Foundation. Speaking of her personal wins, she has 3 lovely daughters named Aria, Maddie, and Lottie, and by the way, on Instagram, she describes herself as an advocate, coach, doula, healer, and a misfit. The last part I agree with, but the rest, well, you be the judge. Anyway, from what I've gathered reading her posts on Instagram, she may have become something of a spiritual empowerment coach and holistic healer focused on connecting women with sacred feminine energy. Whatever that means. According to her, a kitchen is a safe space, and making food is a spiritual act.
I was never black enough for the black kids, never Jewish enough for the Jewish kids, never white enough for the white kids. The kitchen's the first place I felt like I really fit in.
Coming to her marital status, it seems pretty unclear, but a post from August 2022 reads, "I've lived in LA for 2 years on my own with 3 kids." And in most videos, she's mostly seen raising them alone. In fact, very recently, she posted a story talking about the financial issues she's run into, caused by bad relationships and how they set her back for years. And she's made a ton more that indicate that she may have been divorced or separated and is definitely healing over a romantic breakup. You can pause to read it. Around the same time in 2022, she faced several challenges. This included a dispute with her neighbor, who was also her landlord, over her children playing with toys. This disagreement escalated to the point where the landlord threatened eviction due to the unpaid rent during the pandemic. Despite the looming debt and threats, she chose to prioritize her peace and her daughter's happiness. Instead of worrying about finances and making simple meals at home, she reached out to a friend for financial assistance and treated her daughters to their favorite dinner. Despite the stress of the situation, she remained optimistic that everything would eventually work out. She then focused on being a supportive and loving parent to her children. Whether she's an amazing teammate or not, she's an amazing mom, I'll give her that much. She also shared a beautiful quote on her IG recently, which read, "It's so healing to me to watch my children be loved in ways that I wasn't." Deep, right? She's very vocal about breaking the generational trauma and preaching compassion. Who knows, maybe it's that insecurity that ended up fueling her mean streak on the show. I mean, everybody has a story, right? So here's hoping she gets all the love and success that she's destined for. By the way, how would you rate Ariel as a winner? Let me know in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to visit my social media pages, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications if you haven't already. Plus, if you thought this video was crazy, then wait till you see my next one right here, since it's even better.